some Mardi Garcia right here on the Tony Jones Show. Wild Horse Ranch, the name of the album. Wild Horse Ranch, the name of the track. Before that, we heard from the usual suspects off of Old, Fat, and Bitter, I Am Providence, the name of that track. You are tuned into the Tony Jones Show. TonyJones.org is my website. Facebook.com/Tony Jones Show. On Twitter, at Tony Jones in RI. George Garner is my co-host.
As always.
Rob Duguay is here, our very special guest as we spin local music.
Hello.
Let's talk local music, as, you know, three guys who do leave their couches on a regular basis.
Yeah, I know, it's kind of funny, ain't it?
Sadly, these days it is. Two guys who are out and about. What have you seen for good shows as of late?
Well, last night, one of my favorite venues in the city of Providence is actually Dusk. I don't know if you guys have been there. It's on 301 Harris Avenue in Providence. And last night I got to see this Italian punk band called Ideas in Action. They play with Mean Creek, which are one of the biggest bands in the Boston scene. The Rare Occasions, which are a great New England band. And who else played that show? Who else played it? Some other band. Trying to think in my head. Oh, yeah, Archie Powell and the Exports from Chicago. For a stacked rock and roll bill, a really great night last night. I had a lot of fun. I know tonight what's going on if all you Providence people. Another great venue, another great bar, the Parlor over on North Main Street in Providence. The Boo City, one of the best funk, soul, rock steady black country bands. That's what they actually want to call themselves, black country rock steady. Boo City is playing at the Parlor tonight on North Main Street in Providence. I'm going to go there after the show, and I think everyone should join me.
Boo City is pretty hard to describe, but you definitely did a good job.
They're an amazing band. Really, really good. Shout out to Ty and Moon. Such a great, great band to see live.
And George, what are you seeing out there in your heavy metal horror scene?
Well, exactly that. Metal is in resurgence. And part of it is due to, as Rob said, Club Dusk.
Every Wednesday night, man, they have metal.
Yeah, I mean, up until Club Dusk started having every Wednesday night metal, I mean, the furthest, or rather the closest you could get it would be up in Worcester, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you just go to Palladium, you see shows, but
we haven't had a real Providence metal scene, in
a while.
Dependably, you can go every week and see a great band.
Well, I mean, Simons also, which is on Valley Street, they also do metal too.
I think Dusk was first, though, weren't they?
No, Dusk was there a lot.
That's why I'm giving credit where it's due.
Dusk was first, and then Simons took over a really crappy club, and they
did it black.
They did it all black and red.
Split the floors.
I like black and red colors. I'm fine with it. And they split the floors. They have like an outdoor stage and an indoor stage, and I get to meet Dave Lysak the other day. He seems like a classy guy. My buddy Mike Day, the sound over there. Good people over there. It's a nice little club, and yeah, they do all sorts of stuff. Like the other day, they had like a 30 artists like hip hop festival with all these different. I think Mobb Deep opened for them, so it was really, really hood.
I think the unsung hero is Casey's Tap. It's a great place.
I've never been there yet.
It's a great place to see a show. Fantastic ownership, and nobody goes there.
Right, it was mostly depopulated every day of the week.
Well, it's also in Pawtucket.
Yeah.
I mean, you got the Met Pawtucket, you got Machines at Madness in Pawtucket, and then you got like the News Cafe in Pawtucket. Well, the News Cafe could probably suffering the same fate as Casey's Tap.
I will say one bad experience at Casey's Tap was regarding drinking a White Russian, and as soon as I drank the White Russian, I threw up said White Russian.
Did you wear a bathrobe?
I mean, it just went... it foamed out everywhere.
Did you wear a bathrobe while you were doing it?
Well, my first question would be, I'm, in all good defense of Casey's Tavern, what did you drink and how much did you drink before you tried to drink this White Russian?
No, it's always logical.
There was some pre-gaming going on, too, so that probably...
Yeah, it's Tony Jones.
Didn't help.
But it's true, though. I mean, Casey's Tap, it's one of those odd places because, excellent stage. I mean, both standing in front of it and playing on it. It's a great stage. Nice setup. Kevin, the owner, we talk a lot about, even before being on the air, we talk about club owners that don't have a clue and they don't give a damn. I'll use the word damn because But, yeah, Kevin, he cares. He's a nice guy. He helps out the bands. Yeah, unsung hero is right.
Now going back to Tony's little White Russian story here. If you've never seen Tony Jones live in person, the guy's 6'8", and he's like pretty much like an Italian Shaquille O'Neal. so if he has a story about him having to regurgitate a drink, you have to only know that he must have drank like pretty much the entire bar before that happened. I just want to make that loud and clear here.
You know what I have noticed lately is that I have become way too old to stand right in front of the speakers. I mean, just as a kid, well, not even as a kid, as a teenager, I mean, I always loved to be right up front, right in front of the speakers. And one of my favorite local bands, unfortunately, I don't have any of their music with me this evening, is the Viennagram.
Oh, amazing band.
So the Viennagram over the summer, standing right up front, right in front of the speakers. And George, I think I turned to you and said, man, I am now too old to stand in front of the speakers.
Well, actually, I don't think it's so much old in the case of Tony Jones, because despite his protests, he's really not that old at all. I think most
I just feel like crap from abusing myself.
Well, I think most of your deafness can be traced to your buddy Dorian James. And one epic performance, what was the name of the place where, I mean, I've been to loud shows. I've been to see Slayer, I've been to see Kiss, I've been to see Hatebreed. I mean, but Dorian James on one epic night, you know, and if you don't know the name, he's a local psychotic
goth rocker.
Yeah, best. Yeah, I was trying to pick the category. That's the category that best fits.
Usually, when the name Dorian, it screams out goth. That screams out that, you know, I want to be like Robert Smith from Cure.
Well, I think his mother actually named him Dorian, didn't she? I think that's his real name by birth.
Christian name?
I think. Well, he's far from Christian.
But mom must have been like Elvira or somebody.
Yeah. But my point is that I think that's the last time we encountered amplifiers turned up beyond Spinal Tap's 11.
I believe the bass player in Dorian James's band referred to that show, or at least their part of the performance of that show, as Trainwreck in Groton.
Yeah, I referred to it afterwards as, you know, Lovecraft's music of the great abyss. You know, like, unlistenable and deafening. But
the loudest show I've seen so far in 2013 had to be Mudhoney. I don't know if you're a fan of Mudhoney. For all the kids out there, they're a band from the 80s and 90s when you were just wearing diapers and socks. But they're one of my favorite bands, and Mark Arm's a great guy. I get to interview him for my radio show, Another Radar 99WBOB. And they played the Paradise Rock Club in Boston shortly after the new album called, what's it called? I don't know, it has a song called I Like It Small on it. Vanishing Point, that's what it's called. And they played at the Paradise, and I was right in front of the speakers with my friend Brittany. And it was loud as hell, ridiculously loud, but still on point in the sense that you can still hear Mark Arm doing vocals over all the loud guitars blaring to your ears. And when I walked outside, I felt like I was listening to AM radio. You know, it's kind of ironic. I'm on AM radio right now.
Since we're on the subject, there's more to the point, though, of excessive loudness than just hearing all the instruments or the vocals amid the instruments. One thing I noticed, and my vote for loudest band I have heard in years would be, I went to see Slayer about a year and a half ago.
You've never seen them live? No.
I had seen them live a couple of times, but I guess maybe they feel like they have something to prove nowadays with all the upstart metal bands.
Oh, absolutely.
And I guess their way of proving it is to crank up.
We are the loudest band.
Yes, I mean, you know what I'm saying? When you can't do anything else to compete with the young guys coming up after you, just turn up the sound.
Yeah.
And the thing that I noticed about it wasn't so much the fact that it was twice as loud as a jet aircraft at takeoff, but my definition of excessive loudness is when there's no contrast between the soft and the loud parts of the song. In other words, when you're up there around 140 decibels, you know what I'm saying, and you're playing the acoustic intro to a song.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't kick in.
A constant barrage.
I mean, yeah, you can't kick in. The songs have no rhythm. The songs have, what's the word I'm looking for, Rob? The songs have no quiet parts and loud parts.
Variety?
Yeah, I'll use a musician's term, quiet parts and loud parts. And you know, that's
flow. What kind of flow?
Juxtaposition.
No flow.
Yeah, I mean, it can't kick in. I mean, you know, they started playing South of Heaven, and, you know, the crash of the kick-in comes, and it's the same volume as the intro. It's just, that's my definition of excessive volume, when the songs lose their, what would you say, integrity, their artistic integrity, creative integrity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Speaking of metal and goth people, actually, another loud show I saw was a couple years ago, before the lead singer, rest in peace, Peter Steele. If you didn't know that name, you know what I'm talking about. Typo Negative. I got to see them as part of a college radio festival back when I was at good old WXIN at Rick.
Yeah, that does straddle the line between goth and metal.
Yeah. And they played a show in Times Square at this place called like the Best Buy Theater, the Nokia Theater, whatever the hell it's called. It was an alright place. But they played this show there, and it was one of the loudest shows I've ever seen in my life. And you had, like, at one point, it was so crazy. You had, like, a mosh pit. It started out with, like, it seemed like probably 2 people going in circles. And then by, like, the 3rd song, it was like the whole damn crowd just started, like, going in a huge circle. Like, it was almost like a death circle. It was crazy. It was like somehow, like,
death circle.
It was almost like kind of like, yeah, it was like some, like, crazy ritual thing going on, man. It was nuts. But it was one of the, I can say that I got to see the last show that Type of Negative ever played in their hometown of New York City.
Well, that's something that figures in too, as far as this question of when is loud too loud, is the type of music.
Right.
Oh yeah.
In other words, there is music designed and to be played loud. I mean, electronica can be as loud as it wants to be, and I'll be into it.
Yeah.
But it's
What if it's Elton John?
Who's playing here recently? Yeah, he's playing here next month, you know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Elton John.
Yeah, I've been toying with the idea of going to see him. I'm wondering.
Only if he plays Goodbye Yellow Brick Road in its entirety, I'll go. That's where I'm gonna go. Like, I can't. Like, I don't want him doing like a Rod Stewart song and like doing like a duet with Celine Dion or somebody.
It depends. I mean, giving him his props. I mean,
ladies and gentlemen, Mr. George Michael.
Yeah, you know. I don't know.
Like the props to give Elton John is all